COVID clusters spread in Vietnam. Vietnam opens 15th National Assembly at height of COVID outbreak. U.S. Defense Secretary to visit Philippines, Singapore and Vietnam. The country pledges not to devalue currency in agreement with U.S. Treasury. Hello, this is FBNC News and I'm Truyền. Now, Vietnam's capital Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City and other 19 provinces urged their citizens to stay at home from Monday and ordered a halt to all non-essential services due to new clusters of COVID-19 infections in recent days. 19 southern provinces will face restrictions for another 2 weeks as the country's daily COVID-19 cases hit a new record of over 5,900 infections. Domestic flights were also suspended to and from the south until next month. The Health Ministry has sent 2,000 ventilators and tens of thousands of its most highly qualified health workers to hot-hit areas. Meanwhile, in the capital Hanoi, citizens were told to stay at home. The city has already stopped indoor dining and closed salons and gyms. The country of 98 millions has received nearly 9 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines. Fewer than 300,000 people have been fully vaccinated. Vietnam has produced the first test batch of Sputnik V vaccine against COVID-19. Russia's RDIF Sovereign Wealth Fund and Vietnamese pharmaceutical firm Biotech said on Wednesday as the Southeast Asian country battles its worst outbreak so far. The first validation samples taken from the batch will be shipped to the Gamaleya Center in Russia for quality control checks. After successfully containing the virus for much of the pandemic, Vietnam is facing its worst outbreak with a surge in daily infections to record levels, adding to pressure on the government to shore up supplies and accelerate inoculations. A Biotech executive said that the quality check result of the batch of 30,000 doses would be available within 30 days. Vietnam's Health Minister Nguyễn Thanh Long said last month Biotech would begin packaging Russian vaccines from July with a monthly capacity of 5 million doses. Vietnam opened the first session of its 15th National Assembly on Tuesday as Hanoi authorities battle to control the worst wave of COVID-19 in the country since the start of the pandemic. Vương Đình Huệ, the new president of the assembly, stressed his opening speech that the session was held in the context of the complications of the epidemic in the country after averagely 4,000 new infections were recorded daily during last week and 80 deaths occurred in the last 10 days. The first period of sessions will take place until July 31st, shortened by 5 days due to the outbreak, and will mainly serve for deputies to confirm their positions in various government agencies. Although Vietnam is a one-party regime, it holds legislative elections every 5 years to elect members of the National Assembly, which also includes some independent candidates. The opening session began with a meeting of 17 of the 499 deputies to discuss measures to help suppress the current wave of COVID-19, which mainly affects the south of the country and especially its largest city, Ho Chi Minh City, with 13 million residents in its metropolitan area. So far, Vietnam has secured a supply of 105 million doses, which it expects to receive between now and the end of the year or early 2022, while a locally produced vaccine has passed its third phase of testing and will begin mass production in September. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will visit Southeast Asia later this month. The Pentagon said a trip that will include stops in the Philippines, Singapore and Vietnam, according to the U.S. Embassy in Hanoi. The U.S. Embassy in Hanoi said that Austin's trip started on July 23rd. And this trip will underscore the enduring U.S. commitment to the region and both sides' interest in upholding the rules-based international order in the region and promoting ASEAN centrality, the embassy said in a Facebook post. The United States under President Joe Biden is looking to reinforce the need for a U.S. role in a region where China has sizable influence as a dominant trade partner. but tested relationships as a result of its military activities in the South China Sea. Vietnam has pledged not to deliberately weaken its đồng currency to gain an export advantage, reaching an agreement with the U.S. Treasury to refrain from competitive devaluation and make its monetary and exchange rate policies more transparent. The agreement announced in a joint statement by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and State Bank of Vietnam Governor Nguyễn Thị Hồng after a virtual meeting on Monday follows months of U.S. pressure on Vietnam over its currency practices and ballooning U.S. trade surplus. Vietnam, which benefited from the shift of U.S. supply chains away from China amid a tariff war, saw its goods trade surplus with the United States jump 25% in 2020 to $69.7 billion US, despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Vietnam is a growing source of U.S. imports of furniture, electronics, computers, and apparel. In the joint statement, Vietnam confirmed its commitment under International Monetary Fund rules to avoid manipulating its exchange rate in order to prevent effective balance of payments adjustment or to gain an unfair competitive advantage, and will refrain from any competitive devaluation of the Vietnamese đồng. The Vietnamese Central Bank said the focus of its monetary policy framework is to promote macroeconomic stability and to control inflation. But the central bank agreed to improve exchange rate flexibility over time, allowing the đồng to move in line with the development of the country's markets and economic fundamentals, and to further modernize and make more transparent its monetary policy and exchange rate framework. The Treasury said it would inform other U.S. government agencies about the agreement to address U.S. concerns. I believe the State Bank of Vietnam's attention to these issues over time not only will address Treasury's concerns, but also will support the further development of Vietnam's financial markets and enhance its macroeconomic and financial resilience, Yellen said in the statement. The Treasury under Yellen in April removed a currency manipulator label from Vietnam that has been imposed by the Trump administration last December. The Asian Development Bank has lowered its forecast of Vietnam's GDP growth in this year to 5.8% from its previous prediction of 6.7% in April, as the fourth wave of COVID-19 infections hampers the country's recovery. Vietnam's economic growth accelerated from 1.8% in the first half of 2020 to 5.6% in the same period this year, as the global recovery from the pandemic boosted export. However, the ongoing wave of COVID-19 infections has led to disruption in supply chains and prolonged social distancing measures in many provinces and cities whose growth rates are high. These have severely affected the circulation of goods and greatly limited economic activities in this year, the bank said in the report, released on July 20th. Also, as part of the report, the bank is projecting 7.2% economic growth for developing Asia in 2021, compared with its forecast of 7.3% in April, as new COVID-19 outbreaks slow the recovery in some regional economies. About 600 small and medium-sized enterprises in Vietnam will get support in applying technology solutions to improve labor productivity and their competitiveness as part of the project launched on July 22nd by the World Bank. The project, which will be implemented by the World Bank in collaboration with Real-Time Analytics, a research consulting and technology development firm, aims to assist Vietnam's SMEs in the digital transformation process. The project will focus on 4 contents, including assessing the health of businesses to identify problems that cause a decrease in their performance and competitiveness, raising awareness of digital transformation and strategy, applying technology solutions to help businesses digitize their operations, and measuring the effectiveness of digital transformation application. In addition to supporting knowledge training on digital transformation and information access services, the project also provides financial assistance to SMEs in applying 3 technological solutions on sale and personnel management and internal communication. There will be 2 digital transformation funding packages for Vietnamese SMEs, namely Digital Express and Digital Prom. The Digital Express package will cover the finance of all corporate employees who register to use it within 12 months from August this year to July 2022. 300 small and medium enterprises will be selected for this package. The Digital Prom package will finance 20% to 100% of registered business employees. It will be effective for 12 months, starting from August to 2022 to July 2023, and about 300 businesses will be chosen for the package. Nguyễn Huỳnh Kim Duyen, the runner-up for Miss Universe Vietnam 2019, will represent the country at this year's Miss Universe Global event to be held in the resort city of Eilat in Israel this December. Israel has been on the shortlist of host countries for a number of years due to its rich history, beautiful landscapes, myriad of cultures, and appeal as a global tourist destination, Miss Universe organization President Paula Sugar said in a statement. Beauties from around 100 countries and territories are expected to gather at the competition, which will be aired around the world. The 2020 global competition was postponed to May 2021 due to the COVID pandemic. Nguyễn Trần Khánh Vân, who was crowned Miss Universe Vietnam 2019, presented Vietnam at the event in Florida, the US, and was named among the top 21 for receiving the highest number of votes from fans. Miss Universe Vietnam began in 2008 and is organized every 2 years. But that's it for FBNC News this week. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Goodbye.